Welcome, everyone, to All the Things Harry Potter. I'm Jade, and it is the last episode of the first book. I am joined by my husband, Nate.
What's up, everybody?
And James.
What's going on?
And Chantel.
Hey, guys.
And we're going to talk about pretty much all the things that we forgot and left out and just wrap up this first book. And I'm kind of excited to tie it up with a bow. How about you guys?
Oh, yeah. Since every episode has dropped, I've come up with a couple other theories, and I wanted to include them before we ended. But first, before I do, I needed to address something else. We've gotten through like 21 episodes of this podcast with terrible, non-Harry Potter related dance music as the theme to this podcast. So as a surprise, I wanted to show all of you what the new theme music starting in the next season will be. And I wanted to get your opinions on it. So here that is. It's got kind of a mystic feel to it. It's very, very catchy. I dig this song a whole lot, and I think it fits the theme of our show. What do you guys think about it?
I like it.
It's got all the things that we want.
I like it. I helped you pick it.
Yeah, yes, you did. So then I take it you guys approve?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. That was a really loud yeah.
I can be loud sometimes.
Yes, you can. There's no way for me to come out on top of that one, so... Well, okay. So I'm glad you guys like the music. I dig it. And the other thing that has been in my head since our very first episode was that on the back cover, there is a hand holding a candlestick. And we kind of guessed at who it might have been and actually found out who it was. It's not Dumbledore. It's not Snape. It's not... I think Filch was kind of the third guess as to who it might have been because he's always sneaking around the school. The illustrator of the original cover drew a portrait of a random wizard because that's what Joe Rowe asked for. That's J.K. Rowling. So he was looking around for like a model of a wizard to use, and he was just looking at his dad one day and decided, oh yeah. And so he painted a portrait of his father as a wizard. So then the back cover of the Harry Potter book, which did look a lot different than the one we're using, just had a portrait of this guy on the back. And it was nobody. It was not a character at all. Not Dumbledore, nothing. And then people started saying, well, that's Dumbledore, but he doesn't look like he looks at all in the book. And so the next version of it came out with still the same guy, but then dressed up like Dumbledore. So that it was more closely related, but it still wasn't really him. And in the newer versions, they just avoided this whole clusterfuck altogether by saying, well, what if we just zoom up and there's a lot of people sneaking around the school at night. We'll just do the hand with the candle, call it good. So the answer is, it's not anybody. It's just a wizard. and it never had a name. In more recent versions, they did do a couple of them that it was Dumbledore. But originally, that's not who it was. It was just some random-ass wizard. And that took us until now to figure out. I was like, son of a bitch, I have been waiting this whole book to maybe read something that gives away who it was. And it never did. And so I had to just take to the internet, and I finally found the answer. So I was pretty excited about that one.
It's exciting to know, but how anticlimactic is that? That it has nothing to do with the story. It makes you think we're going to find out something. And then there's nothing.
Right. Kind of a letdown. I remember the episode we did when you guys found out that the Mirror of Erised that actually said something backwards.
Right.
And that the fact that there's hidden shit in the book kind of excites me when I read it, because you never know, that could be a puzzle that you're looking at. This is something that we picked up on, and there was no real answer. It wasn't a secret character or nothing. It was something completely non-related. I really thought it was interesting, but it is kind of a letdown, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I remember being a kid and trying to figure out the cover and trying to figure out who the fuck was back there and never getting an answer. And then just moving on to the next book because, ADD.
And you're like, oh, well,
whatever.
I think the joke we made in the first episode was, well, you're not supposed to notice the man behind the curtain, so just move along.
Move right along. There was one small little minor detail that I remembered that I didn't get to say at one point during the episode where they go to the trapdoor. They pass Mrs. Norris, and Ron mentions wanting to give her a good kick, and I remember wanting to mention that because I thought it was funny because they had mentioned in the beginning that everyone wanted to do that and they were invisible, and Ron was like, come on, please. So I just thought, I don't know why, that was something I wanted to mention. Also, Mrs. Norris and Hedwig don't get named in the movies.
That's kind of fucked up. To your second point, I mean, Mrs. Norris is a major player in the book. If you're sneaking around the castle, you need to be aware that there's a cat who is literally out to get you.
What do you mean don't get named?
You don't find out either one of their names in the movie.
You got me lost. There's Mrs. Norris. That's the name of the damn cat.
In the first movie, they never say Mrs. Norris's name.
Oh.
They say Filch's cat.
Oh, I'd never noticed that. Okay.
And to your first point, well, that just proves that our heroes aren't cat kickers. I mean, I know cats are kind of better than us as people, but I still don't condone the kicking of cats.
See, dogs are supposed to be man's best friend and all loyal and all, but when you think about it at the airports, cats aren't the ones that sniff out the drugs.
That's true.
Sorry.
That's because the cats are like, you can't teach me to do shit.
Right.
Stuff me in a cage. That's all you can do.
Go sniff them yourself.
But yeah, and Hedwig doesn't get a name either in the movie.
Now, see, that's also fucked up because Hedwig is another major player.
Her relationship with Harry is literally non-existent in the movie, except as an accessory.
Right. Hagrid just kind of showed up with her and was like, here you go. Happy birthday, dude. And that was it. She got shafted.
She did. That's very sad.
Especially when the book takes the time to explain that a lot of nights at Hogwarts, Hedwig is his companion. She does come up to the room and hang out with Harry. That's his pet. Where a lot of owls are just running around delivering mail for everybody, Hedwig does hang out with Harry. She keeps him company, she keeps him sane, and then they just take all of that away from her in the movie. So
I think there again that ties into time spans in the book not being the same to the movie, and it right away gives the idea that Harry has made friends and is doing things with people. And that wasn't the case in the book. For a little bit, he was lonely. He wasn't just right in a group of friends. For a little bit, it was, I'm the new kid at school. I don't know anybody. This is all new.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that in there because I remembered that was something I wanted to say, because Hedwig becomes a big part of all of our lives for the next, 6 years. So she deserves a name, damn it.
Throughout his entire Hogwarts career, he always has Hedwig. Spoiler alert, until maybe the very, very end.
Later.
But, I know, but, Hedwig's fucking important, and you just leave out her name. That's bullshit. The song that plays at the beginning of the movie, the name of that song is Hedwig's Theme.
Yep.
It was written specifically for the owl. And they liked it so damn much, they're like, well, this is the Harry Potter theme song. Duh. And that's what happened.
Yeah, but she doesn't warrant being called by her name in the entire movie.
It's just second-class owl.
Yeah.
Little piece of trivia here. The owl that plays Hedwig, who is a female, is a male owl. Mm-hmm. I don't know why that's pertinent, but I read that, so I figured that this was the place to say that.
I had a question in the very beginning, okay, when they're being transported across the lake in the boats. Nobody's using paddles or anything like that. We had a couple of theories, I believe, of being magic boats and everything. What if there was, I don't know, something under the lake or in the lake that was actually moving the boats for them? Like, I don't know. Magical creatures in there. They talk about the twins tickling the tentacles of an octopus. I mean, what else could be in there?
I don't know, but I do want to say that as a first year, that's the only way that they would ever get me to go across that lake, because now that I know there's a giant squid in there, I would never, ever, ever fucking take a boat across that lake. No chance. But yeah, the thought of being propelled across it by some creature is terrifying. And I would be super happy that I didn't know that. The original crossing. I'd be like, ooh, we got lucky once. Never doing that again. Ever. I'll take the stairs. Here's one. I listened to the episode that dropped as of this recording yesterday. It'll probably be a lot longer by the time you are all listening to it. But something in the very, very last chapter caught my attention, and I was talking to Jade on the phone at work during lunch, and I mentioned it to her, and she said she had the same idea, and that was this. In the scene that Quirrell is trying to figure out how to use the Mirror of Erised, he can see himself with a stone, and Harry can see himself in the mirror. Harry then sees his reflection, wink at him, right? And put the stone in his pocket, to which he can feel the stone in his pocket, and he knows he's gotten it. Later it's revealed that Dumbledore says, only one who wanted to find the stone but not use it would be able to find it. And that made me start to think, Harry obviously doesn't care about using the stone, he just doesn't want Voldemort to get it. But Quirrell, who is the one looking into the mirror, also doesn't want to use the stone.